All right, everyone. Time for another dispatch. So, you probably know when I'm, saying things like keep the faith and keep painting, and it really matters that we paint. I'm talking to me, right? Too. Definitely talking to myself. Figure I need to hear it. And if I need to hear it, maybe some folks out there could use it. You know, we don't live in humane times. Or maybe we live in really deeply humane times. I don't know, but it's not easy. All right. Get a little morose or something here. All right, continuing on from the Hodgkin. Continuing on. For Hodgkin, memory has been a vital source. Am I recording? Yeah. For Hodgkin, memory has been a vital source. By recollecting our experiences, we are able to contemplate them at a remove without the clamor of ever-changing external circumstances. The representation of emotion, our instinctive felt response to primary experience, has been equally important. Through feeling, we sense our vital connectedness with the world. Motivated by both these preoccupations, he has felt it necessary to evolve a visual language that transcends literal description. In a telling early observation about the imperative he feels to express his experiences with the greatest possible veracity, Hodgkin observed, figurative painting is about a specific experience involving the figure. The most complete expression of such a subject would not necessarily involve description. As this statement makes clear, description is an element of representation, but only a part. To represent these subjects of experience more completely, alternative means must be found. This reminds me very much of Matisse. Developing an appropriate visual language has required a leap in imagination, allied to a degree of empathy. Bridging the elusiveness of memory and the evanescence of feeling. Hodgkin's paintings evoke particular recollected situations by refracting them through the lens of emotion. But that attitude comes at a cost. The difficulty is that of finding effective pictorial means with which to express experiences that are themselves intangible. Hodgkin himself is aware of the implications of this. Referring to the process of completing one of his pictures, he confided, the subject, though anchored to a particular incident, seemed at times almost impossibly nebulous. The same sentiment could be applied to his paintings more widely. During the course of a long career, his work has tended to proceed relatively slowly. At first, it was subject to extensive revision. Now, more immediate, it is no less the outcome of extensive deliberation. But both tendencies result from protracted attempts to give ephemeral, empirical subjects some lasting physical form. The need to develop a visual language that serves his particular needs has in turn generated a further conundrum, namely that of recognition. Even when a subject has found equivalent status in paint and is apprehended as such by the artist, whether or not the viewer will have access to the ideas and feelings that generated the painting remains an open question. As noted about the two works already cited, while the presence of some extra-pictorial significance is implied, the exact meaning of these paintings is a matter for speculation and interpretation. Art historical convention leads us to expect to be able to read a painting, to decode its figurative and symbolic references, and thereby to arrive at an understanding of the artist's intentions. Hodgkin's painting does not readily subscribe to this kind of approach. The language he employs is, in philosophical terms, essentially private. It refers to what can only be known to the person speaking, or in this case, painting, that is to say, to their immediate subjective sensations. But in that sense, Hodgkin's art is truer to empirical reality. While we may persuade ourselves that we know what a painting means, an artist's private world of experience is, in the final instance, mysterious. This is an existential fact, but one nevertheless that every artist must confront in attempting to communicate. Hodgkin is evidently aware of the need to bridge that gap, and as far as possible to make the elusive empirical content of his work available. My language of forms has far more than a physical purpose, he has stated. Alone in my studio, working on my pictures more than anything, I long to share my feelings. Now it's moving into a next section, and I'm just going to read a part of it. Emotional situations. The resulting enigmatic character of Hodgkin's work has given rise to critical speculation and, on occasion, misunderstanding. Interviewed by David Sylvester in 1984, the artist was asked, "How do you know when a painting is finished?" The undertow of Sylvester's question is clear. If the connection between a non-figurative painting and its subject is unverifiable, is the final form of the painting ever conclusive? Hodgkin's reply is worth quoting at length, for it is enormously illuminating about his method and purpose. My pictures are finished when the subject comes back. I start out with the subject, and naturally I have to remember, first of all, what it looked like. But it would also perhaps contain a great deal of feeling and sentiment. All of that has got to be somehow transmuted, transformed, or made into a physical object. And when that happens, when that's finally been done, when the last physical marks have been put on and the subject comes back, which, after all, is usually the moment when the painting is at long last a coherent physical object, well, then the picture's finished and there is no question of doing anything more to it. My pictures really finish themselves. All right. There's more. There's always more. Okay. Happy painting. Keep on. Keep on. Painting, drawing, making. Talk to you later.